Good morning. Well, I have taken my temperature. I have taken my blood pressure. Apparently I'm not sick. So I don't know why it is that my voice still seems to have this frog in the throat resonance to it. Now, what's with the book? Okay. Oh, by the way, I did not come back to the model table yesterday. I got busy making my pizza stuff. Oh, maybe that'll be the rollback, what I did yesterday in the kitchen. However, now, I was wondering, which way is this supposed to go? Because it can go either with the detail facing forward or the detail facing back. And then when I was looking at the pictures that we looked at yesterday, there was one here in particular that clearly shows, we'll talk about it later when I can recompose here and we can look at it. Oh, I suppose I can also just dub it in, that'd be just as good. But anyway, it clearly shows that the sort of like the bracing or whatever you want to call it that holds these plates up is to the back, facing the gunner. So now we know which way to bend this and put it on. It wouldn't have been a serious thing, it wouldn't have really, nobody would have noticed anyway. But I may as well get it right if we can, right? Anyway, let's roll back to what I did yesterday in preparation for today, Pizza Day. Okay. Now, what all is in this hamburger or meatloaf? Well, it started out as probably I'm guessing about 700 grams or so, or like 1.5 pounds of ground beef, extra lean ground beef, which I pre-cooked and got as much of the fat and everything out of it that I could. And then afterwards I sliced it up into slices so it would go through the meat grinder here. And I took an onion exactly the same size as this and cut it up so it would also go through the meat grinder. And then these pepperoni peppers, I took probably about 20 of them, cut the stems off, and put them through the grinder. And then I mixed the whole concoction all together, and I baked it here into sort of like a meatloaf. And the idea now is I'm going to slice it up and lay it on the top of the pizza. That's part of it, but there's more. Now in this bowl, and I'm probably not going to need all of this, is a couple of cans of this stuff here, and probably 2 pounds of chicken that's been pre-cooked and diced and mixed in there. Like I say, I'm probably not going to need all of that, and I'll be putting it in a freezer bag. The idea is to put some peppers, slice them up and put them on the top, and some olives here. I like olives. And what else can I tell you here? Then there'll be a bunch of mozzarella cheese. I won't grate the mozza. I'll just slice it and lay it thinly across the top, and we'll just see what happens tomorrow. At least I'm basically ready. I think I could probably cut these up and put them in something. Put them in the fridge, and then I don't need to do that tomorrow. Trying to get everything as ready as I can here. Make it easy for myself. Now, when I was trying to take this out of the baking dish, it was pretty obvious that it's not going to slice well. Well, it'll slice, but the slices are going to be so crumbly that there's going to be no way I'm going to be able to lay them on top of the pizza. So I'm thinking at this point, why not mix it up with the chicken? and then just sort of ladle it out as a, you know, some sort of a very thick sauce. Yeah, that's just not going to work. So it didn't. That part of it did not turn out as planned. However, I don't think the taste is going to change. It's going to taste good. I heated this up in the microwave to almost, you might say, the boiling point. It's cooled down a little bit now. I was concerned originally that maybe this concoction was going to be too runny, but I can see that's not going to be a problem. It sure smells good. Now, when I was editing out these last few scenes that we just saw, I realized that I probably didn't make it too clear what I was talking about. See if I can just turn this over here now. Okay. Now you see this detailing here. Okay, so I would have thought that this X that we see here would have been facing forward. But when you look at the photo, or the drawing rather, that Carlo did, you can see that this part is actually facing the gunner. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I was talking about. So now we have to fold this accordingly right here. And I do remember seeing that the folding line was on this side, and normally that's the way you do it. You fold the piece towards. But look at it, get a tweezer. Maybe we can just do it right there. Okay. Feel a lot safer doing it in Andy's bender, but this should bend okay. Okay, now the idea will be that we will try to mount it in. You know what? I'm going to have to reposition. Sorry about that. Now, you notice how that little tongue that I'm trying to place underneath there has got a little bit of a, you might say, a curve. Now it's supposed to go up underneath something like, here we go again. Here we go again. All right, come on. All right, let's try this again. Now the problem is, unless I use CA thick or something and have it cure right away, this piece is going to fall down. And I'm thinking of the comment that Aussie Frenchman made, Mark. And he said that he was talking about let gravity be your friend when you're dealing with little pieces like this. And I agree with him. So I'm thinking, well, how would it be if instead of having it right side up, why not have it upside down? So maybe if I was to lay this piece, or hang this piece rather, upside down from the helping hands, then we could get this on a little easier. Let's try it. Speaking of Mark, he made a comment about using CA glue to clean up little parts that have little burrs on them and stuff. And he was saying he uses a drop, and I don't know. I'm going to do a test on that because I don't think that will work. On the other hand, I don't know for sure. Anyway, let's recompose here. Now this is just sort of a dry run here. I'm not expecting this to stay in place all by itself, although I am noticing that the bottom there is kind of flat. Maybe if I had done a better job of removing that line of flashing. Okay, now trying to get in here, and just a moment, please. Just trying to reposition. No, that's not going to work. You know what? I'm going to have to take and twist this thing around in the alligator clip. And I'm using the plastic alligator clips instead of the steel ones because steel ones would bite into the plastic and mark it. So just let me twist this around here. Don't know if I can do it on camera or not. No, I can't. Okay, I know that the alligator clip is more in your way right now, but the arm from the helping hands, I'm not bumping into it. I can get in here a lot easier. Now, can I just lay that on there and it'll just stay there? That would be ideal. Something like that. I think, or should this be more like that? Yeah, something like that. Oh, this is so finicky. This is so finicky. Okay, I think that's just about perfect. Something like that. Maybe if I was to use CA thin, maybe just to tack it in place and then reinforce it somehow later. It's not quite straight. Probably gonna knock it off. Yeah, that looks better to me. So let me turn it and see in the monitor. I think we got it. Now if I can just do that 12 more times, mind you, it's not glued yet. Okay, we have a change in plans, as you can see. What I've done is I've angled this thing about 45 degrees. And Mark, we're still letting gravity be our friend here. The only difference is now I think it's going to be, gravity's going to work in both directions. No, I don't have any CA glue. I'm just doing a dry run again. Okay, I think that's right. Something like that. It could be that I don't have that thing bent straight. It could be that maybe when I bent it with the tweezers there on the green cloth, it wasn't a good idea because it didn't get a square bend. Now, what I'm afraid is going to happen is if I come in here with my CA glue, that instead of running down and getting into the joint, it's going to end up sticking to the applicator. And, well, you know what's going to happen. So I'm going to try this. It may not work. Okay, very steady now, very steady. Went crooked on me. Oh, come on, Ron. This is the medium CA, so it won't dry right away. I think I got it. Whoops. trying to push it back. Let me check the monitor. That looks good to me. Looks good to me. Okay, let's let that cure. Okay, it's good to be getting a comment like that every once in a while. Yeah, it lets me know that somebody else appreciates sharp the same way I do. Anyway, this is yesterday's episode. You'll recognize it maybe if you watched this far. And here I'm saying that the clip was shot in 8K. Now, not all of yesterday's episode was shot in 8K. However, the entire episode was uploaded as 8K, so when the 8K came along, it could be viewed as true 8K. And the rest of it could be watched as, 1080 60 or 4K 60. In other words, it had the best of everybody's world. At least I thought it did. Now, that's why yesterday's episode was late uploading. An 8K video has 4 times as much data for its length as a 4K video, and about 16 times as much data as an ordinary HD video does. Anyway, just a little bit of trivia here. Okay, a good amount of time has passed here. Got busy in the kitchen, as you soon will see. And now I am sure that this is cured. Now I would think that the place to reinforce it is from the bottom, not from the top. And that way there's any excess is not going to be seen. At least that's the plan. Now I would think that's probably all I'm going to need. Unless I was to maybe do it where the barrel is touching the bottom there. Now when that's painted over, we're hardly going to even see that. Okay? Yeah. Well, that was good timing. Hello. You sure can. Now, I think I have mentioned this before, but this knife used to belong to my grandfather. And it was part of a set. But this was his knife. And he sharpened it so many times that he wore it down. My mother in Kelowna had the rest of the knives, and of course they were in pristine condition. But this one was very badly worn, and from the constant sharpening. And he used to keep it razor sharp. And the reason he did that is because he had Parkinson's disease, and he shook. And he couldn't grasp things. Now, it's amazing he did as well as he did. But anyway, so this thing is like razor sharp. I keep it sharp now. Now, I don't have Parkinson's, at least not yet. I think it's hereditary, I'm not sure. Anyway, enough about the knife. Let's talk about Pizza Day. And yeah, here's what's happened. Now, back in, I think it was October, I had reached or almost reached my goal weight. and I think it's only about 1.5 pounds or something from my goal, and I was pretty pleased with myself. And then I started falling off the wagon around the middle of or the beginning of November. I would occasionally fall off the wagon. Well, by Christmas time, I had completely fallen off, and I just didn't seem to be getting back on. And yeah, and this past week, for the first time, I weighed in, and I was, excuse me, my throat here. I'm not crying or anything. I'm not that upset. But this week, for the first time, just went over 200 pounds. Yeah, I don't know what that works out into metric, because I think of my weight as pounds, not kilograms. Anyway, yeah, just over 200 pounds, and boy, that kind of shocked me. I thought, oh my goodness, I better get back on the wagon. So I thought, okay, I had told people we're going to have one more pizza day, or we're going to have a pizza day, and I won't forget this week like I did last week. So consequently, I decided I'll make one last pizza. You know, it's always easy to start tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow is, yeah, it's really easy to say, I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, and, well, it's not so easy, but we'll see how it goes. My new goal is this, that when the snow leaves the backyard, which will probably be in about, I'm guessing, 2 months from now, because we got some pretty big drifts back there, like where the carrot pad is. It must be about 3 feet deep there. We've had big drifts back there before, so this is nothing new. Anyway, the new goal is, when the snow goes, I'd like to be back to where I was in October. Anyway, what could I say here? I know usually I take a bite and then go, well, I gotta be honest with you. I already had a bite off the part that's still in the kitchen, which you might be seeing the next pizza day and the next pizza day. We'll see how it goes. It'll be just a tiny little sliver, though. It won't be I'm guessing there's a couple of thousand calories in this. And I sure don't need all that grease. Anyway, it's gonna taste good. It's gonna taste good. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know what's happening with the diet, because every once in a while somebody will hint at it. So, all right. Well, let's. You know what? I think I'm gonna hold off a little bit on this, and see if we can't just do something else here. Although I don't know what. It's already 1:36, almost 1:37. I have this thing about time, don't I? Anyway, oh, I guess I could have one little bite here. Let me zoom you out. There we go. Well, it looks pretty good to me. Now, as I mentioned before, I just have to do that 12 more times here. We can't carry on until I get the rest of those done. Spent a lot of time today messing around with pizza, which is gone. At least that slice is gone. The rest of it's still in the kitchen. It's going to last another few more pizza days, I hope. I'm going to cut it up. Enough about the pizza, right? Enough about the pizza. Yeah, I'd like to carry on, but like I say, I can't until I finish those pieces. So I think I better just push stop on the camera and leave it stopped. I'm not going to make any promises about maybe I'll come back this evening or anything like that, because usually when I say I will, I don't. And Mark, I had indicated that we were going to try your little drop of extra thin on a small piece of plastic, and we didn't do it, but we will do it. Maybe I'll do that this evening. That'd be a nice break. And then, in which case, you'll get it in tomorrow's rollback. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.